What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, doing good. We got this call will start here probably in a couple minutes. Usually people will be on within like the first 5 minutes. Probably like 5 to 10 people, I would imagine. So nothing crazy, but we're gonna repurpose the video to be able to give it to our other clients. We have about 265 people in Junk Academy, so good amount of people will be able to actually see this.
Awesome, amazing.
So, where are you calling from?
I'm in San Diego in our office.
Okay, very cool. Are
Yeah.
you an accent? Where are you from?
I'm originally from Israel.
Okay, very cool. Is a lot of Workiz team, are they all from out of the country?
No, so the two founders, me and one of the other founders, we had a locksmith company. We're both from Israel. We met in the military service in Israel. We moved to the United States after the military service, and we started a locksmith company here in Southern California. And we opened, we grew the team substantially. We got to a certain size, and there weren't any softwares that kind of did what we needed to. So we learned to code, and we wrote our own. And
Very
that's kind
cool.
of where, that's where Workiz kind of got its start from.
So
Eventually, sorry.
So are you one of the founders?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have you here.
Yeah, happy to be there. I mean, we had a lot of good things happen with the junk removal industry, in the recent couple of years. So definitely exciting for us to be here.
Cool. Let me I'm gonna grab the link here so I'm gonna share it to some more people so we can get some more people in here.
Let's
see. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Do you guys know how many junk removal clients that you guys have?
I don't have the number at the top of my head. I'll be honest with you. But I know it's in the thousands,
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you know what the most saturated market is?
No.
Okay, I just didn't know. All right.
Okay, no. As far as field service in general, it's there's still a lot of folks out there that don't use an FSM, don't use a software. Use, either pen and paper or Google, spreadsheets, something like that, which will only get you so far. So it is amazing how many pros are still out there not using the software.
Right. Let's see. I have this other junk removal group that's it's not paid. So like it's gonna be other clients that aren't a part of the Junk Academy, but I'm gonna invite them as well to get a bigger show out. All right, we'll give it like 3 minutes. Got those posting. All right, perfect. We'll give it 1 more minute. So I think a lot of people like basically a lot of them might not have CRMs or they've used CRMs in the past. I would say a lot of common objections we get of people maybe not using Workiz or at least checking out is because they've already used softwares like Go High Level and maybe Jobber and different stuff like that. So just showing them the different softwares. I had one question this week from somebody that was basically regarding like how they could link, like their gas fee or their dumping fee on a given job, something like that. And then we could open it up for a Q&A at the end. So if you could just show like the basic foundation pieces of how it actually works, and then we'll open it up to a Q&A and at the end. For the other people that are actually on here, if you could please make sure that you're you stay on mute. We don't want anyone to have their sound on to interrupt anything. And then at the end, if you just raise your hand, we'll open it up for a Q&A. You'll be able to ask him question. So looks like we got some more people joining here. So perfect. Well, I just opened it up for you if you want to share your screen, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Okay, so I'll introduce myself for the people who just joined. So I'm Idan. I'm one of the founders of Workiz, and currently the Chief Revenue Officer. I've been, our story is we didn't start up as software developers. I was a locksmith here in Southern California. We developed a pretty big, company here. Along the way, we figured out that what we need from a CRM, what we need to grow our business wasn't available. So we decided to build our own. And that was the foundation of Workiz. We actually built this for us, and then started sharing it with friends from a couple of different industries. And along the way, we started getting investments, and it turned into the monster it is today. But at the root of the company, it's all about taking tradespeople and giving them the abilities that they need to make more revenue and grow their business. And this is kind of what sets us apart. The entire application is really revenue focused. So I'm going to share my screen now, go over a couple of the points here. So can you all see my screen?
Yep. If you don't mind, I'm going to share something really quick. When I first started my junk removal company about 4 years ago, I never even heard of a CRM in my life. I didn't even know what it's standard for or anything like that. I was probably making about $20,000 to $30,000 a month with my company. And the way that I booked jobs is when calls came in, I would go on my Apple calendar, right? And I would put, Friday at 8 a.m. and I would put the customer, I would really put their address and the price if I landed it. And that was it, right? All that information went poof. It was gone, right? And also we would end up having mistakes, stuff like that. I ended up getting Workiz because I saw somebody else was recommending it. And it was just overall great for my business to be able to scale it. That's really what it is. I would promote the business itself, even if I wasn't an affiliate or anything like that, I will say. So it was very beneficial for me to scale, especially when hiring employees and just making sure that everything was organized and also having automation in place to retarget my customers.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, of course, for your advocacy. So as I mentioned, it's not about just having a calendar and an invoicing app, because you guys can get that for free. Okay, the idea is, taking your business to the next level to where you want it to. Okay, if it's at $500,000, you want to take it to $1 million. If it's at $1 million, you want to take it to 2, and sky's the limit. Trust me, I know. Okay, we've seen it happen so many times, when we get, solopreneurs or, two-man shows, and they end up, after 2 years, they're working with us, suddenly they got 20 trucks out there. It's a very common story. Wonders happen once you start to get organized. So I'm going to show you around Workiz. Now, Workiz has a lot of features, okay? I won't bore you with all the basics, okay? Because obviously we have, the scheduling, the invoicing, what you would expect from any kind of, field service management software. I'll stick to the stuff that make us, really unique with junk removal folks, and really kind of, get them to grow their business and, show those, revenues increasing. Okay. So one of the things that, we see junk removal folks using the most is our booking tool. Okay. So it is something that changed dramatically in the last 3 years. Obviously, customers tend to book online rather than call. Okay, this is obviously attributed to COVID and the millennials coming into the buying age. Okay, so that means right now people between the ages of 20 and 40 will do everything in their power not to give you a call. Okay, they'll text you, they'll try to book online, everything that they need to in order not to actually call you and ask you how much it is. And we see that when we started off with, providing online booking integrated into Workiz, that was nice. Some people were putting in 5, 7, 8% of their business. Today, we're seeing businesses have 30% of their incoming jobs come from their booking. Okay, and it just shows the massive shift of consumer behavior that we're seeing with service industries. Where are we seeing it the most? Junk removal, appliance repair, carpet cleaning, those sort of businesses. Now, we, in response, have expanded a lot on our booking tool. So this is our booking tool, and I'll show you how that looks as a shared link. Obviously, it's also mobile, so it looks pretty slick on, on an iPhone or an Android, and you can customize it as much as you need. Okay, so that means you can put your services, you can put your prices, you can, decide what kind of price do you want to, have for customers. You can charge ahead of time. You can share your live calendar. So this means this is actually connected to your live availability, and it's dynamic according to the number of trucks that you have out there. Or you can just open it up and allow people to double book, really up to you. And people can just pick the time and slot, fill on the information. They can even upload an image of what they have, because a lot of times, people just, they don't know how to estimate it. They don't know if they need a truck or a half truck or whatnot. So they just give you a picture of whatever is in their garage, and they finish the booking. This is also completely customizable. So you see this account, for example, there's a curbside pickup, or did you hear about us, what items, and a couple of other fields. So you completely control the customization of this, okay? As far as availability, what kind of information do you want to collect from the customer, your own custom fields, your own custom questions, everything's available. You can select if you want them to to choose service types. Okay, is this an estate cleanup? Is this junk removal, or is it a piano haul? You can choose if you want to give them items with pictures and prices. Obviously, you can remove all of those, and you can also request deposit ahead of time. Okay, when using Workiz Pay. So that means, just to kind of shield yourself, you can ask for 10% down or $20 ahead of time, or not do it altogether. Okay, we are constantly working on this tool. I'm happy to say that our recent update of it, that happened about 2 months ago, has increased booking conversion by 30%. Okay, how do we measure that? The amount of people that come on your page, on your website, and end up booking a job. We managed to push this number by 30% up with user experience improvements. So that's what we do. Okay, we kind of keep our eye on the revenue and how can we, drive more of that. So that's our booking tool. Huge success with junk removal. Another thing I want to point, your attention to is our automation tool. Okay, so we found that service pros are not communicating enough with customers, and this has a lot of negative effects. Okay, when I say negative effects, I mean customers that don't show up to the appointment. And you all been there. You set a time with a customer, you get to the house, you knock on the door, you dial the phone, it's like, I totally forgot. And you just drove all the way there and spent the gas. Okay, so Workiz Automation allows you to take all sorts of scenarios and generate those custom notifications. This is not just for reminders. I'll show you a couple of examples here. So basically with Workiz automations, you can build your scenario to automate notifications around what you do. Okay, so let's say if a job is created, send the assigned tech, a text message with, the dynamic message. I want to send 2 hours ahead of the job schedule date. Okay, and we can do this for any scenario. Okay, so we can say when a lead is scheduled, I want to send the client a text message that says, hey, first name of client. This is completely dynamic. Okay, just want to remind you, and obviously you can use a more friendly language. This is the template that comes with it, and I want this, let's do 1 day ahead. Okay, and I want this between 9 to 5. You can customize this as you see fit. Okay, so that means you can do one a day before, and another one 2 hours before, another one 15 minutes before. You can do one for your tech. You can do one when the job status changes and you want to notify them like, hey, I'm on the way. All this communication with the customers, customers are expecting right now, because when they order stuff from Lowe's or from Home Depot or Best Buy, they expect that constant notification. This is the world we're living in, and you don't need to be a Fortune 500 company to use this. Workiz has this built in for you. Okay, you can build all these scenarios in. Another great use of this is something that, I find that, and I wish that more service pros would pay attention to, is reputation management. Okay, we know how it is. Customers are looking for a junk removal pro. Whoever has the highest, and most positive reviews gets the job. Okay, those don't come easy. Okay, you gotta solicit them. Okay, now Workiz does this for you. I'm not gonna even build it. I'm just gonna use a template, by the way. I'll go to marketing and I gotta collect reviews 1 day after. Okay, and Workiz does this automatically for you. You can just put in the URL of your website or Google listing, and every time jobs are done, the next day they get an email. I always recommend using a text, or you can do both, but texts really work well. And this tells them, hey, had a good experience with us. Just click here, leave us a review. You will be surprised once you turn this thing on, how many reviews are you going to accumulate in the next 3 months? Okay, we've had customers that literally doubled the review count within 3 months of using this. And you just set it and forget it. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. You just set it and it happens, after you invoice your customers. Another thing we see a lot with on-demand services and junk removal in specific is the phone notifications. Now, I don't know if you know that, but Workiz has a built-in phone, and we'll get to that in a second. Workiz can actually, return text automatically for you. So that means, we've all been there. You're doing something, you're picking up something, driving a truck. You can't pick up the phone. Workiz will respond to the client automatically when a call is missed. We can send the client a text message that says, hey, sorry, I missed your call. By the way, you can book us online. Just click here. Okay, so we'll communicate with them automatically to win you that job. Okay, and you know how it is. Customers call you, you don't pick up, that's it. It's the next one on Google. We don't want to miss that. Speed to lead is super important. As I mentioned, Workiz has a full built-in phone integration in there. Okay, now junk removal, locksmiths, tow trucks, they're all kind of, they all have the same special need. That means you are forced to get new leads every day. So that means you need to advertise. This is something I've been telling my friends for the last 15 years. Don't spend $1 on advertising without knowing what comes back. Okay, you have to measure your advertising. Okay, you have to understand your ROI. You could be paying now on a campaign on Google and getting calls all day, and you're busy and you're going out and you're doing jobs, but you might be, net negative. Okay, so that means eventually after paying your subs and gas and expenses, you're not making money from it. So that's why it's so important to track. So Workiz has a built-in phone, which you can use on your mobile app or within the within the actual browser. Let me show you how that looks like. And this is our built-in phone. It rings here. It rings on your mobile app, and basically means that your business phone number comes with you everywhere. And what that means is when you create jobs from those calls, they're automatically tracked. Okay, so they put the source in for you. I'll show you an example of this, where we have this is our client masking, feature. So that means when you create a job from a phone call, that source is populated for you automatically. It's Facebook, Google, whatever you created that tracking number. You need more tracking numbers? Super simple. You just click, search for the number, you get it in 1 minute. You don't need to call AT&T, you don't need to order a number. You just put in your area code. Okay, I'm gonna look for an 858 because I'm in San Diego. Very easy, you can get that phone number, configure it right away. So this is a demo account, so it's not gonna let me get that. All in all, it gives you the ability to track your revenue automatically. So that means I can go over to my statistics here. I can choose my sources. Hold on, I can choose my sources. Let me pick up some date range here. And I can understand where money is actually coming from, okay? I got Facebook, I got Google, I got my main website. I can see how much I sold, what was canceled, what was my profit, what was my average sale, average profit, and understand if this generates a positive ROI. You can even dig deeper and see if one of my techs is making more money than the others. And this one I specifically like. It helped me save a lot of money when I was a locksmith. I can drill into the metro area, city, and zip code. So I actually found as a locksmith that there's zip codes that no matter what I do, if I advertise there, if somebody looks for like a locksmith 91950, 50% of those jobs are going to get canceled, and I'm actually wasting my time. So this report made a lot of money for me specifically as a service pro. Okay, so tracking. Next up, Workiz Pay. Okay, we have spent a lot of work in the recent 2 years into implementing financial tools into Workiz. We partnered with Stripe to create a full suite of financial tools built in to allow you guys to get paid faster, get the deposit faster, have it reconciled with your QuickBooks automatically without having to pay, a bookkeeper. We also did a lot of work on the user experience around tipping. Okay, so that means we want the experience to be as seamless for your actual field guys to be able to get a bigger tip. We actually measured that, and we managed to increase the percentage of tips. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Sorry to hop in here, but so the tipping thing wasn't always here, but once they added it, I will say my employees, right? More importantly, you obviously want your employees to make a lot more money, and if it's coming out of the customer's pocket, even better. So really, what I want to add is like, as soon as this came up and we had the option, right? You go to Starbucks now, for example, and they say, hey, can you click a button, please? Can you sign right here? And it says, would you like to leave a tip? It's exactly what you do on the job site. And your employees start to make a lot more money. And a lot of people today complain about employees on how, they can't retain them and all these different things, right? So if they're making more money, it's just going to give them another reason to stay. So I just thought I would add to that, but that helped them make a lot more money. And also, say you have an average ticket price of $500, right? A lot of clients, as you can see, it's 15, 20, 25%, or they click custom. There's a lot of people that will just click 15% on the $500. So the tip is pretty decent for the two people.
Yeah. So this is another update that we just did. We allow you to customize the default tip amounts. We got a lot of feedback from customers like, why can't the default be 20, 30, and 40%? We said, okay, let's give you the options. Whatever helps you retain your employees. keeping them happy. We'll give you that customization. Workiz has a lot of kind of those customizations that you'll identify as something of a pain that you probably experienced. But yeah, we revised this entire experience. We got, like I mentioned, we're seeing a lot of junk removal pros in the last 2 years. So we take it upon ourselves to receive as much feedback as we can. So a lot of that was around the payment experience. So we made this more, prominent within the app, big buttons, the signature process that kind of removes that, uncomfortable moment of handing the device over to the customer. And we monitor this, and yes, success, we managed to almost double the amount of times tips are received by your employees. Customizing the tip amount is also part of that. We just added something a couple of months ago for service or convenience fee. So that means, and this is depending on the state that you're in, but you're allowed to actually tell customers, if you're going to pay with credit, this is another line item that's attached to that. And that helps offset those costs to you. Okay, because at the end of the day, you pay for, merchant fees, and we want to help as much as we can. Bank transfers are also available. Client portal links, if you send an invoice to a customer, if you share an invoice or estimate with them, they get a nice client portal link branded for your company. Again, this is something that people are used to today. If they order some sort of a service from Sears or from Lowe's, they're used to having that link with your order and your status. You get that as part of Workiz as well. And the full financial suite is in there. We also incorporated buy now, pay later, okay, which is in partnership with a company called Sunbit. They have an amazing 90% approval rate. It is a soft credit check. So that means if you go to a house and it's a total mess and you tell them, hey, it's going to be $1,000 here. And they're like, I wasn't expecting that. I thought you're going to do it for 200. You don't have to walk away. You can offer them as little as so-and-so per month, zero risk for you. Okay, the approval takes about a minute. All you need is like a debit card. You get the deposit within a couple of days, I think 2 or 3 days, and Sunbit takes care of the payment plan in front of them. So that's another option. Okay, because a lot of times people call a service pro and they think it's going to be X when it's actually Y. So you get another financial tool. This is something that was well researched during COVID. The amount of sales that you make and the experience that you're giving customers to check out, very connected. So we put a lot of time, money, and emphasis into that. So again, I can go on speaking about Workiz for literally another day. Since there's a lot of things we built into the product. I wanted to keep it focused on the 4 things that we see bringing the most value to junk removal folks. The booking, the automations, tracking your sources, the built-in phone system that we have, and obviously all the payment options. Kyle, I'll switch it over to you, or if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you sharing all that stuff. That's all very valuable stuff. A lot of people that I'm sure use Workiz, they use the basics and then they don't use anything else. So I'm glad you went over that stuff. For the people that are in here right now that are actually watching, we can go one by one here. What kind of questions do you guys have? And we can have him answer right here. So is there anyone that has any questions right now? Okay, we got a bunch of experts already. I guess I'll try to think of some.
I had a question real quick. Sorry,
Oh, I think you clicked mute.
Okay, am I back now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I don't use Zoom very much, but yeah, I had a question. So I use another company currently. I just started, and when I started with them, since I was a brand new company, they would not accept online payments from for some odd reason. And so they suspended my account for 3 months until I had more incoming transactions, so to speak. So if I switched from the software I'm using to Workiz right now, would I be able to accept like credit card payments and online payments immediately, or would I have to wait for a certain amount of time while using it?
Well, for the most part, these things happen within 20 minutes. Okay. Now, again, we're not a bank. We use Stripe. So they have their whole like kind of underwriting process. Sometimes they ask for additional documentation. It is very rare. Maybe it's because you were a new business. The good thing is it doesn't cost you anything to check. Okay. So that means you can just click on the link, sign up for Workiz. It takes literally 10 seconds and just click on Workiz Pay and onboard. Okay, you'll get an answer within the first 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, so it's super easy for you to check. You don't have to put any money in, or you get a trial and just see, you know, if it works out. Sometimes there's certain businesses that I don't know. I remember when the name doesn't match or the EIN doesn't match, they request for more documentation. Holding the money for actually 3 months. That I know is when you go out, you know, go above your limits. So that means you start off new and you tell them, hey, I run about $20,000 sorry, a month, and then you end up processing 100. So this is where they become suspicious. But it again, very uncommon.
Or, you know, if they hold your money, we'll say for a certain amount of time, you know, it could be due to chargeback rate. Say you have 10 transactions that you've done with your business and one was a chargeback, you have a 10% chargeback rate. Most likely you're going to get your funds froze with anything. But Stripe, you know, I personally use Stripe. That's, you know, basically with all my different companies, and it's probably the easiest to get set up with. It's probably the biggest payment processor out there. I would imagine that a lot of people use. So it is, they did choose a good one. I've used it. So I would imagine that you could start taking payments immediately.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So I didn't have the transaction hold. It just like, it didn't get accepted. They would pay with their card and then it would come right and say, oh, your transaction was declined. And it didn't tell the customer why. And I had to do some digging to find out why. But yeah, that answered my question. I don't think I would have a problem accepting payments with it getting rejected at this point. That was a few months ago. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Regardless, we're a company that, you know, really, we're really strong in communication. So that means if we get any update from your, from Stripe that says, hey, there's some sort of documentation, your account manager calls you right away and tries to sort it out, because, you know, we like happy customers. So, you know, we try to keep you informed.
Does anybody else have any questions or anything?
Yeah, actually, I do. I was wondering, how is your licensing model structured, right? Like I imagine typically it'd be like several variations of the platform that you could have, like a basic model. And then of course, if you add texting, automated email, any autonomy in the platform, I'm sure it would change. Could you speak to that?
Yeah, definitely. So Workiz pricing is pretty simple. Okay, so we have 3 plans. One of them is free. Okay, so that means it's just you just getting started. You know, you don't have any employees. It's called Workiz Lite. It's completely free. You know, you get your schedule, jobs, leads, invoices, estimates, all of that good stuff built in. You do have a limit of 30 jobs per month. Okay, this is kind of, you know, the free usage limit, and that's the first plan. Second plan is standard, $45 per user. Okay, it's a minimum of 5 users. This includes pretty much, you know, all the basic features, and that includes obviously the mobile app, the booking. It includes 5 automations. Okay, so those automations that I showed you, that's included. 5 of them are included in there, which covers. We got to 5 by thinking about, okay, so you need to notify a customer, you need to notify a tech, you need to get a review, and you need to get a text for you know, missed calls. You do get 1 local phone number built into whatever plan you choose. Plus, I believe it's 100 text messages. That's base. You can add your phone package on top of that, which are priced at $49, $100, and $200, depending on your usage. Okay, so and this is comparable with any other VoIP company, or you can pay as you go, which is another option, but it's less affordable. So if you want to pick a phone plan, we have those for you, depending on your usage. And the last package is the ultimate. This is more for HVAC companies, for plumbers that they need kind of a price book and in the service plans and all of that. So I wouldn't say that's really for junk removal, but that pretty basic pricing, 3 different plans.
Okay, and then do you guys charge for integrations, such as like integrating in with QuickBooks, Stripe, like having a connector fee on top of it, or no?
Is
Nope.
that something that you can show? Like, I know there is an integration tab on Workiz, isn't there, on the settings? Like MailChimp, there's like MailChimp on there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I believe it. So I know Zapier and the API integration is only for the ultimate. Let me go through this real fast. So the basic, first of all, QuickBooks Online is part of the standard. So that means anybody who's paying on Workiz can do QuickBooks. Also, let me go in here. This is our marketplace, by the way. It has like a shop icon and it shows you like all the good stuff that you can, connect to and turn on or off. Okay, so we got Angie leads included in standard and ultimate. If you guys, if you guys buy leads from Angie, those come directly into your Workiz. They sync directly. Workiz automations, against 5 automations on standard, 30 on ultimate. QuickBooks Online also standard and ultimate, so not on the free. That pay over time, BNPL payments that I told you about, those again are all subscriptions. What other integrations we have? We integrated Google Local Services, and that's also for standard. PalmTech also available in standard. Company Cam, MailChimp, Calendar Sync, all of those. Just the Zapier, which is kind of access to your API and more advanced automations. That's only on ultimate, if that answers the question.
No, that does. Thank you. I appreciate it. I work for a software company. Any integration or anything like that is just shoots it right back up. So I was just curious about that. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So, we work with service pros, not with developers, so we price accordingly.
Does anybody have any other questions or anything? Is anybody else using any other CRMs right now that you care to share?
Hello. So I could add up something to it. I've been using Booksy, and Booksy also use Stripe. And sometimes when they cannot configure you to receive payments automatically, you could do it manually too. And like as he said, they're gonna just ask you for extra documentation, like sometimes your driver license, just to confirm identifications and stuff like that. But Stripe is really good and simple to use.
Good stuff. Appreciate it. Anybody else have anything before we head off here?
Yeah, I have one more question. I'm currently using QuickBooks and House Call Pro. I don't know if you're familiar with House Call Pro. That's the software that I've been using that kind of rejected the payments at first because they said they needed more transaction history on my business account. So I don't know if you're familiar with House Call Pro, but it seems pretty comparable. Do you know if there's any like major differences? I got on the call a little late, so didn't quite get the intro just between those two CRMs.
Sure, that's fine. So House Call Pro is, well-known software. They're actually neighbors. We're both in San Diego. So I can't speak to all different verticals. I know when it comes to junk removal, our booking tool has much bigger efficiency. Okay, so that means I've seen people come over from House Call Pro to us and report, hey, I'm getting like a lot more bookings, something's working, I'm getting more calls in. Okay, we have the built-in phone, which I understand House Call Pro has been working on something, but it's just very recent. We've been in that game for years, so that means the entire sorry,
I just said okay, yeah.
Okay, so we have the entire call integration, the call masking, all of that's built in. And I would say the scale of it. Okay, so that means customizing Workiz, you saw, you can build your automations kind of the way you imagine it. You can build your custom fields, your forms, the questions on your booking. It's very flexible. So that means as you grow, we're there for you. Also, if you look at our schedule, our tags, our service areas, a lot of those things don't exist unless you pay like $200 per month for like softwares like Service Titan. Okay, and Workiz gives you that easy flexibility. So that means it's good for you now if you have just you and another truck, and it's gonna be good for you when you're gonna have that 20th truck. Okay, so this is something that we really pride. We see those journeys. Okay, it's a platform for growth to bring you to your revenue targets.
I would say the one thing for me, right, because I have used other CRMs for different businesses and that sort of thing. Like for example, I've used Booksy to book haircuts. I think that'd be good for a barbershop, not really a junk removal company, a lot of CRMs are very similar. They do the same functions, right? They piggyback off other companies, because that's how they compete and that sort of thing. What I like about Workiz personally is that they're more specific to junk removal compared to the other ones out there that are more broad to other industries. Workiz promotes a lot of just specific junk removal. They have probably majority of junk removal clients as well, so they're actively focused on that specific niche. That's kind of why I chose them, is really just a bigger interest in junk removal.
Okay, yeah, that definitely answered my question. I've just used House Call Pro in the past, but I have heard from other people that Workiz is the one to go through for junk removal. I'm just not familiar with it, so this has been really helpful for me, and I'm definitely going to look into just trying it out while I'm currently still using House Call Pro, just to see how it compares, and go from there. So thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Appreciate
It's
it,
free
man.
to try it out. I mean, I'm sure you'll be impressed.
Anybody else have any other questions or anything?
Yeah, sorry, I have one more. What does your contract length look like?
Our contract is annual.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, you can pay monthly or quarterly or one annual payment, whatever you prefer. But
Okay.
we do have an annual commitment.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? Awesome, guys. Well, I really appreciate everybody showing up. How do I say it? Idan?
Idan.
Well, I really appreciate you as well, showing up, telling everybody about Workiz. Glad to have you guys come on here and share everything about Workiz and how it works and that sort of thing. And I also have the recording for anyone who wants to go over and look at the recording later on. Please let me know if you need that, or I'll just post it in the groups tomorrow sometime. But I appreciate everyone coming again, and Idan, I appreciate you showing up as well.
Definitely, always a pleasure. Anytime you need us to come and share the word about our product, I'm always happy to. For those of you who haven't tried us, you have the link. It's free to try. You can get a demo. I'm sure it's going to do wonders for your businesses.
Idan, I did have one question real quick. if you do the automated, like if you do the phone number through Workiz, is there any like way that the calls are recorded?
Of course, that's built in.
Yeah, awesome. That's just what I wanted to know. So thank you.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome, guys. Well, everyone have a good rest of your night. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. Send me a DM on Facebook or whatever. And I appreciate everyone again for hopping on.
All right.
Have a great night.
Bye.